It's time to sit back.
Hey, what's good, kind people? Checking out a new Wrestling with the Topics. Lee and Tammy Sanders here. Thank you so much for tuning in for this live recording that's gonna drop for everybody on demand and on the downloads later this week. Week is still pretty early, but Hump Day is right around the corner. Hope you guys have been pretty good so far. I can't believe that September is essentially in the books. I was just talking about this on Monday night's RCWR show, where I basically said, I can't believe, that's gonna get gotten, a whole bunch of other shit. But I was talking on the Monday night show how the month of September particularly has gone by so fast, but then let's up the ante a little bit, because in less than 3 months, 2022 is going to be over and done with. And I swear to God, this calendar year alone has gone by so damn fast. Do you think it might have to do for most of us as a nation? Do you think those of us that maybe are experiencing this calendar year going by so fast, mainly because things have now gotten back to normal within reason? You know, when you think about where we were pretty much last year, and then maybe, you know, just where do you stand on now? What do you think?
I think that's a good assumption. You know, things have gotten back to normal for most people, and you know, some travel, some, you know, even going back to work in office, not so much remote, but in office. I think so, but I just, honestly, you know, they kind of say the older you get, the faster it goes. Well, yep, check that box.
I don't know. This is kind of weird when I really stop and think about it. If you guys would only know, we have so many distractions that have gone down within the past 90 seconds. It's not even funny. I'm not going to even tell you guys what all's been going on, but some interesting stuff behind the scenes there. So, all right. So this is Wrestling with the Topics. And I'm sorry that I had missed a message from the last time we were on the air, but somebody had wanted to know, when's the next show? I had saw that question asked by Havana. Havana was a few days late, too. Havana was a few days late. If it's going to be like this, then you might want to separate. When I say there is so much shit going on behind the scenes, it's not even funny. But anyway, Tams will be back in a hot little jiff. All right. So let's make sure that as far as the audio goes, audio and all that is banging. Everything's pretty good. Audio level's looking pretty good. Yeah, everything's good. I mean, we checked it out beforehand, but everything seems to be going pretty good here so far. All right, so that's good. So, interesting news that I want to share with you guys, because I believe we gingerly have brought this up from last week. As some of you guys know, I'm supposed to be doing a Bret Hart meet and greet down in Winchester, Virginia on Friday, October 21st. Bret Hart's going to be at the Squared Circle Collectible Store from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. Well, let me tell you that there were a number of people, including myself, that were pretty confused about what was going on with the pricing information. A lot of us were under the impression that, okay, well, for this amount of money that we're spending, this is going to give us our photo op, and it's going to put us in a position where we can get our belt signed. And it turns out that wasn't the case at all. And so there were many of us trying to get clarification. Well, wait a minute. What the hell is a premium item? What the hell is a standard item? So, you know, we're all scrounging around, interacting with these guys on their Facebook page and all that. And a lot of confused people, including myself. There were a lot of us that were pretty confused over some of the stuff that we were reading and all of that. And then new announcements were being made, and then some of us were like, okay, so where does that exactly leave us that thought we were paying for this, and instead it's actually this? But it seems as though everything has now gotten more straightened out. It seems that things have gotten more ironed out, and so that's actually a good thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, because this would be, unless Bret Hart has other plans, and usually he's pretty good when it comes to his bookings. Very seldom will he cancel out on a booking, a meet and greet and all that. But I'm very excited to go to this place and see it with my own two eyes, because they have been, I know you know what I know, because unless you unfollowed them on Facebook, it seems like they have been picking up some serious traction within these last couple of months. The last 2 quarters particularly, I mean, the caliber of talent as far as name quality, I mean, the ante just keeps getting higher and higher as far as the people that's coming through for their meet and greets and all that. This is probably their, if it would have been Jeff Jarrett, that would have been their, but now that they are going with Bret Hart and assuming everything, stars, moons, rainbows, all that shit aligns perfectly, this will be their biggest attraction to their store to date. Mm-hmm. So I'm very curious to see, one, the volume of folks that's going to be there for this, if they're going to have enough staff. I mean, I'm going to be looking at so much, because have you seen photos of inside the store? Mm-mm. Okay, so basically, you know the comic book store around the corner?
Yep.
Okay. Think as far as that kind of space.
Okay.
Okay, now I want you to picture where that counter is when you first go into the comic book store, mm-hmm. and the guy's over the counter.
Yep.
Okay, so just pretend you're going over to that other side of the counter, and let's just say Bret Hart's going to be right there.
Right.
So basically, you're going to be working with all that space, mm-hmm. pretty much. So it's tight quarters is where I'm getting at.
Yeah, for the amount of people.
Exactly. So I can't wait to see, are they going to have enough staff, right? Because I would imagine it's going to be out the ass of people that's going to be coming there for Bret Hart.
Yeah, unless they give time tickets.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I don't think they do that much anymore.
Nah. And it's going to go from 6 to 9. So I would imagine that the way that they're probably going to do it, they probably have a general idea. I would imagine they're probably most likely keeping track of, okay, this is how many people we have attached to these packages. I would imagine they're going to do a hard cutoff. I would imagine they're going to do a hard cutoff.
Well, I mean, that's probably why some of the packages have already sold out.
I would think so,
they've
yeah.
met their maximum per that package that they can accommodate in the time he's going to be there.
Right. To the point, for some of you guys that maybe had missed an opportunity the last go round, they just made an announcement that for those that were interested particularly in getting their belt signed, or maybe a pop figure, or maybe a DVD cover, something along those lines, which that falls under the category of a premium item, they're charging flat out $80. Now, for those of you that maybe just want to do a photo op with Bret, that's going to be $80. So you can pick. You either do a autograph, you either do a photo op with Bret, or you get an autograph, and if you want that autograph to be on a premium item such as a belt, pop figure, things of that nature, then have at it. So, but you might want to act fast, because that sharpshooter package I saw when it had first launched, that sharpshooter package did not last long at all. That sharpshooter package maybe lasted, I bullshit you not, and the other folks that ordered could probably confirm this, that shit lasted about an hour.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
About an hour, maybe a little bit less than an hour, and then the shit was gone.
Well, honestly, for the value of what you're getting, it's actually a decent deal.
It is. It is actually. It is a damn good deal. So I'm looking forward to that. I've was telling a couple of people how I was going to be meeting him, and someone said, "Oh yeah, I met him a few times. Nice guy. Yeah, you're gonna have a great time." So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. So, where do you want to begin, my dear? You want a little bit of wrestling, or do you want a little bit of non-wrestling? What's your cup of tea? Where do you want to go?
Spin the wheel and start.
Spin the wheel and start. All right. Well, I tell you what. Winner picks. Rock, paper, scissors. Let's go. Best 2 out of 3. Let's go. I love it. It settles so much. I wish for democracy, this is just how you settle things. Just rock, paper, scissors. Just rock, paper, scissors. Should we extend the government funds so that government employees will be able to continue to go to work, rather than Republicans say this, Democrats say that? Just do rock, paper, scissors, right?
Yeah, okay,
just
I'm
do
sure
rock,
a few
paper,
people
scissors.
would have something to say about
Well,
that.
they can suck a lemon. Let's go. Rock, paper, come on. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, you won that one. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ooh. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right. It's tied 1-1. It's tied 1-1. That's 2 out of 3. It's tied 1-1. Let's go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right. Let's go non-wrestling. So what have you heard about this? Actually, you know what? I know exactly where to start. Let's talk Brett Favre. So long-time listeners already know this, but newer listeners don't know this. So the wifey here had bought for me, I'm pretty sure it was last year. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was last year, sometime around February to April. Yeah, it was a Valentine's Day present. It was a belated Valentine's Day present, as a matter of fact, from last year. Wifey surprised me big time by getting me a signed Brett Favre football, because she knows how much of a big fan of Brett Favre I was. Notice I said was. And I'm like, oh man, oh, well, how could you do? Oh wow, And the funny thing is, I remember showing her the football in question in passing. I was browsing around on some website or something like that, and I just remember showing it to her, saying, "Wow, that would be pretty cool to have because wow, wow, Brett Favre, he's awesome, right?" And Tams knows that up until the recent shit that's gone down, huge Brett Favre fan. Huge Brett Favre fan. Okay? So, this football, I showed maybe twice on air. I wish I could remember the exact show, but I don't. But I know for a fact I showed it twice on the air. And eventually, the long-term goal, anybody that watches the webcast streams and you see me, see this cool stuff that's in the background, I like to play around with my background wall and everything. So I've got a couple of shelves now, and usually I'll rotate some stuff. So eventually, I had planned on having the Brett Favre football chilling on a shelf. Tams will tell you initially, when you look at my web streams today, you'll see over my shoulder that there is a Superman statue, a Sting figure, a Jericho bobblehead. It's right up under great illustrated portraits of Jefferson Pierce, Black Lightning, Adam West, Batman. It's like right there. Originally, I had planned for a Brett Favre football to go. But as I was setting up the little shelf and everything, Tam says, yeah, no, you're not going to have enough room for that. That ball in the trophy case is too wide. Like, that ain't going to work. I'm like, you sure? Like, yeah, it ain't going to work. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. But the plan was to eventually have the ball chilling in the background so folk, because that's something to be proud of. But then this bullshit had went down with Brett Favre and Mississippi. To the point, I hit Tams up yesterday while she was at work, and, I know that she can't really be on top of her news like that, when she's at work, because she's always on the go and everything. But I said to her, hey, I'm getting ready to post this Brett Favre football on eBay. How much you think we can get for it? And she goes, wait a minute. After all the bullshit that I went through to get you that ball, and now you want to sell it? What? And I'm like, oh, she doesn't know. So I text her back. I say, oh, you must not know about the crap that went down with him in Mississippi, as apparently he got with some high-up executives tied to the government or whatever. And basically, they misuse the state of Mississippi's welfare funds for the sole purpose of building his daughter, a volleyball, what is it, a volleyball fucking stadium or some shit like that. And you're like, wait a minute, this does not sound like, are you serious? So after I told Tams about this, I remember saying something like $1,000. And she goes, okay, her text message, okay, yeah, that's a good start. I'm like, okay, great. So yes, in case of those of you that had missed it, some of you maybe are not following football this season, don't feel bad. Do not feel bad. I have not watched a football game except for maybe, I'm trying to think if I even at least watched one game so far, because I think we're 3 weeks in the NFL season. No, I have not watched. Something went down with the Cowboys, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even watch all of that game. Out of 100%, I probably watched about 15% of that game. But I have not been paying attention to the NFL season this go around. But for those of you that maybe had missed it, yeah, the Hall of Fame quarterback, Brett Favre, is in hot water for his connection in the Mississippi welfare scandal involving the misappropriation of, get this, guys and girls, $77 million. Now, Farve has not been criminally charged yet, but of course, he is denying like a motherfucker, knowing that the money he received for different projects was welfare money. However, court filings and text messages have shed new light on all of this. Okay, so the scandal that's got everybody talking is Mississippi's largest ever public corruption case. It involves money from the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, otherwise known as TANF program, which is a federal program that provides grant funds to states and territories to help families in need. According to the benefits.gov website, state-administered programs may include child care assistance, job preparation, and work assistance. Now, stay with me here. Full context. September 22nd, former executive director of Mississippi Department of Human Services, John Davis, pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy and 1 count of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds. The Department of Justice said Davis worked with 4 unnamed co-conspirators. Davis is going to be sentenced February of next year, 2023. MDHS provided federal funds to 2 nonprofit organizations and then directed the 2 nonprofit organizations to fraudulently award contracts to various entities and individuals for social services that were never provided, read the release. The 2 nonprofits were the Mississippi Community Education Center, MCEC, and the Family Resource Center, FRC, as stated by a press release by State Auditor Shad White's office October of last year. The 2 organizations ran a statewide program called Families First for Mississippi. Now, by summer of 2021, Farve began to ask then Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant for funding a new volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi, his alma mater, and the same school at which his daughter played volleyball. Text messages from August 3rd, 2017 show Farve asking MCEC founder Nancy New about privacy regarding payments to him. And I quote, "If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much?" he asked. She reassured him that the information would not be made public. The next day, she told him that Bryant was on board with their plan. New and her son, Zach, pleaded guilty to 13 felony counts relating to the scandal earlier in 2022. Now, let's bring this home for you guys. According to an audit, Farve was paid $500,000 in December of 2017 and $600,000 June of 2018 for appearances and speeches at multiple events that he did not attend. So it was literally, "Here, nigga, free money." Okay? Farve said he filmed commercials for the nonprofit organization, and that's why he was given the money. The auditor later revealed that Farve's contract stated that he needed to give speeches and a radio advertisement. Farve gave back the initial payments, but reportedly still owes $228,000 in interest. Of course the money was returned because I would never knowingly take funds meant to help our neighbors in need. But for Shad White to continue to push out this lie that the money was for no-show events is something I cannot stay silent about. That's what Brett Farve had said October 29th of 2021. Farve missed the original deadline to pay the interest, which led to the case being turned over to the State Attorney General Office. The $5 million volleyball stadium was not the only project Farve was interested in. Apparently, going back to 2019, Farve was appeared to also have wanted money for a new football facility at Southern Mississippi to help recruit quarterback Shador Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, by luring him with an indoor football facility. As I suspected, Deion's son asked where the indoor facility was, and I said, we don't have one, but are hoping to break ground in less than 2 years, Farve texts Bryant per ESPN. Now, that will not happen without your help/commitment. I know we have the V-ball to complete first, and I'm asking a lot with that, and I believe 100% that if you can get this done, Nancy will reach and help many, and in the recruiting war, a new indoor practice facility will give USM football program instant credibility, and USM football will become relevant again. ESPN reported that Billy Quinn, a lawyer representing Bryant, said a court filing shows that Farve continued to press for state funds, first from DHS and later in a legislative appropriation. You guys with me so far? Jesus Christ Almighty. July 28, 2019, Bryant texts Farve that the use of the funds is tightly controlled and that any improper use could result in violation of federal law. Auditors are currently reviewing the use of these funds. And then a month after that, September 4th of 2019, text messages show Farve putting more pressure on Bryant. Here's a direct text from Brett. We are not taking no for an answer. You are a Southern Mississippi alumni, and folks need to know you are also a supporter of this university. We are going to get there. This was a great meeting, but we have to follow the law. I am too old for federal prison, Bryant replied, adding an emoji wearing sunglasses. April 2022, Mississippi Today reported Farve briefed Bryant on PRESERVATIVES, a pharmaceutical company in which Farve was a top investor in. Per report, the company received $2.15 million from the scheme. Some of the text messages obtained by the Mississippi Today showed that PRESERVATIVES founder Jake Vallingham and Farve offered Bryant shares of the company. White ended up naming Bryant as the whistleblower that led to high-profile arrests in the welfare scandal. The Mississippi Department of Human Services filed a lawsuit May of this year, 2022, y'all, against Farve. 3 former pro wrestlers, very curious to know who the wrestlers in question are, and multiple other people and businesses in an attempt to recover millions in welfare dollars, according to the lawsuit. And there's your answer. Ted DiBiase Sr., former wrestler known as the $1 Million Man, ran Heart of David Ministries Incorporated and received $1.7 million in welfare grant money in 2017 and 2018 for mentorship, marketing, and other services. One of his sons, Brett DiBiase, pled guilty to his role in the scandal December of 2020. Yeah, I remember this now. Recently, 2 of Farve's weekly shows on ESPN Milwaukee and SiriusXM were suspended due to his involvement in the scheme, which dates back to 2017. So that's where we are now, full context. Some of this stuff I did not know, and I am now reacting to this in real time as you all are processing this and everything. Shout out to Michael Rappaport on social media. I love that dude tremendously. Phenomenal actor, phenomenal director as well. And I agree with his sentiments exactly, which is what is going on with all the sports media outlets. Why are they not blasting the fuck out of this? To date, the only sports show that I've seen within recent weeks that even talked about this, and I'll give them their props where it's due, Shannon Sharp
Skip Bayless, Undisputed, these were the only guys I saw that were talking about this, and they talked about it about, I would say, 2 weeks ago, if not maybe about 3 weeks ago. And, you know, Skip, his position was, this is it for him. Like, the floodgates of hell is going to come pouring down on Brett Favre, whereas Shannon Sharp, he felt, this is Brett Favre. Like, look, all the crap that was going on with him going into the Hall of Fame and all the crap that, you know, like everybody's pretty much have known about this, I would say within reason. Nothing's going to happen to him. He's going to go unscathed. I understand where he's coming from, but when you've got a domino such as this, where all these pieces, otherwise known as people, are just flipping on one another, they're just turning at the click of a dime, all in the name of trying to get a sweet ass deal. It is just a matter of time before Brett's gonna have to. I don't see this ending with him continuing to do his little Wrangler jeans commercials or Copper Fit, right? I don't see, he ain't gonna be going into the sunset here. What say you? I'm still processing this, but what say you?
Well, I think for what you're saying is, yeah, he's not going to come out unscathed. There's no way. There's no way he can come out unscathed. There's so many things that have happened in the last 5 to 15 years. You know, I mean, obviously this is the most recent to date, but you've got a lot of people involved. And if they can prove text message upon email or whatever form of communication, and he's kind of saying, hey, what's up? When's the money coming? Hey, what's up? When are we getting this? And yeah, because basically you are almost masterminding the whole thing. Mm. So when you're actually doing that, you're not just a bystander.
Right.
This isn't just, oh, God, gee, I didn't know. No, that went out the window.
Yeah.
With half of the text messages that you just read.
Mm-hmm.
So I think worst case scenario, maybe some jail time. Best case scenario for him, paying back a good chunk of change. Or a good chunk of change.
This is what I don't understand. How can a person the caliber of Brett Favre, and look, I don't want, oh, maybe he was just being naive. Maybe he was just being, no, I've heard enough of this guy right down to the point as far as his political views go and all that other shit. Let me just nicely say I don't agree with his stance, because he's, you know, he probably wants old orange orangutan still as president, hint, hint. But, you know, this guy, from what he comes off pretty smart. And when you have a net worth of $100 million, okay, maybe some people will say, but Lee, you know, the net worth, that can easily be blown up. Okay, all right, let's put that to the side. Let's just look at how much money this man was able to make off of the NFL when he was playing. Mm-hmm. Just add up that money alone, and then add up the money that he's been able to get off of endorsement deals. And for this man to, you know, essentially, you know, until the evidence proves otherwise, this man couldn't take his own money and, okay, look, let's do this. Hey, I'm trying to get this going. Hey, look, I'm very serious. I'm committed to the cause. Look, to build this facility, it would only cost this. and look, I'm willing to put up 90% of the money, and for sure within a 5-year time frame, we'll break even, and then by year 6 we'll start seeing a profit. And then for somebody to not go that route and instead basically goes the route of, yeah, I don't really want to touch any of my money per se. I want to tap into money that is supposed to go towards those in need, those that seriously need some type of housing over affordable housing, those that need food, those that insert the unfortunate, all in the name of trying to build a volleyball facility for your kid. I mean, this has shades of the chick from Full House that had paid X amount of money to the dean of the school or some shit because she was trying to get her daughter.
Yes.
I mean, this has shades of that shit.
Yeah.
But worse.
Yeah. Oh, way worse.
Way worse.
So you have this person who is larger than life, or was larger than life at one point. There's an obvious disconnect in reference to the Pro Football Hall of Famer Brett Favre and the everyday husband, father, normal person Brett Favre. Because it is obvious that the person doesn't meet the persona. Obvious. The only thing that I can sense or even wrap my brain around, either you can't manage your money and you're just frivolously spending to where you are still living endorsement deal to paycheck to the next thing to whatever. And maybe some of this net worth is all caught up in stocks and so on and so forth, right?
Hold that thought a second. I just want to jump in, full context, people. Some of you all may say, oh, well, that $100 million net worth, we can exaggerate that. In the 20 years that he played football, I can't believe it was 20 years, but in the 20 years that he had played football, he earned a total of $140 million in salary alone. His highest single season salary came in 2010 when he earned a $12 million base plus a $4.4 million signing bonus for a total of $16.4 million. And then when you rewind it to 2009, he signed a 2-year, $25 million deal with the Vikings, giving him his 2 largest season paydays of his career. Please continue.
So in reference to that, as far as frivolous spending, maybe it's caught up in stocks, maybe, endorsement deal to endorsement deal or whatever have you, right? Okay, so, or it's just I'm an asshole and I don't want to spend any of my money. But, okay, we all have shades of... No, not we all have. Let me rephrase that.
I was like, well, it's out now.
We all know of shady crap, right? So you have, okay, this
Spit
fake,
it out.
I was getting ready to say, this fake endorsement bullshit over here, this fake company, this whatever. It's a front, right? But people who are in poverty level, who are in the need of help, okay, it's terrible, but I would even understand, okay, well, these were all adults who needed the handout, right? No, these are kids. These are kids that are needing that help. And you being a football player who obviously for a lot of people when you were playing and in your prime he was a role model to them. So how does that work? In reference to the fact that, oh, I guess so I'm not playing football anymore, then it just doesn't really matter, you know, and I can just do what the fuck I want. Well, we already know, and this is pretty much how I'm going to bookend it. We all already know what type of character he is. You know, there's been he should know from previous experience that most of that shit eventually comes out. You know, you should tell a lot about a person when they're boohoo crying and, oh, I've got to do this for my wife who's dying. And then only to find out 5 years later that he was banging somebody that was definitely not his wife. You know, and so
I still remember the
morals. There are none.
I still remember the voice message that was released. Hey, I was just letting you know I was calling. I was thinking about you. Just got out the shower. I'm here in the hotel room, lying in the bed, wishing you were here. It was like, it sounded like a voice message. Oh, for your wifey or for your, your boo. This is for the fucking whore he was banging.
So morals, you know, and yeah.
Yeah, so $1,000, huh? You think I can get $1,000 for the ball?
No.
I don't think so. I think when it comes to that ball, I think I gotta prepare myself. I could just see motherfuckers going, look, I'll give you $20. I'm telling you. Look.
In that case, keep the motherfucker until people forget what the fuck he did and sell it for at least what we paid for. At least what I paid for.
Look, when I was on eBay, this was so hilarious because from when you initially got the ball and when I went on eBay to see, hardly that many Brett Favre balls were online. Now, because of this scandal, every goddamn nigga selling their fucking Brett Favre football. I've seen some that won $1,000. I've seen some that won $7,000. The common asking price is $500. So it's kind of like, I don't know.
But see, here's the thing. It's okay. Sell it, right? With all this shit, unless you've been living under a rock, who the fuck's going to buy it?
I agree with Havana. Havana said, maybe sit on it for a little while. Don't be so quick to sell it.
Right.
I could look. I don't wish ill will on anybody, but I can see this son of a bitch killing himself if the shit gets too hot. He just comes off to me like that type of individual. I could see him offering himself, to try the embarrassment, the shame. I could literally see him doing some shit like that. And the ball will be worth even more when he does that. So it's kind of like, yeah, go ahead, right? I'm sorry, I'm not wishing for nobody's demise. I'm just being real with you guys, right? I mean,
we could have just left it at, let's wait, a little bit till people forget, and so on and so forth. We could have just left it at that. There was no reason for the rest of the dramatization of all of that loveliness.
Hey, I'm just being real. He looked like a punk bitch. He looked like he could not handle the idea of doing jail time. He looks like
Didn't he bawl his eyes out when he got caught with the hooker person?
Yeah. Wasn't she a flight attendant or something like? No, a news reporter or something. She was something. She wasn't a whore. Well, she was a whore from the standpoint of she knew he was married and she banged him anyway. Right? You're a whore. Anyway, so that's one. Now, about this Daniel Snyder bullshit, we haven't had a chance to really talk about this, and, we got listeners out here in the DMV, so I'm sure they're very interested to at least hear our thoughts about this, so let's show DMV a little bit of love here, but we got this recent report from the Washington Post that came out a couple of days ago that says some NFL owners believe that they have enough swag to convince Daniel Snyder to sell the team, or that other owners could have enough votes needed to force Snyder to sell the franchise. So if they can't get him to sell, brother, you're going to be out either way, because you're either going to sell or we're going to vote your ass out. So looks like the way things are going right now, Snyder, front office and all that, they've pretty much been very quiet since he agreed to testify before Congress in July. Meanwhile, you got the former Washington president, Bruce Allen, who was questioned recently for about 10 hours on the franchise's former workplace culture. And in addition to the congressional investigation, the NFL is conducting an investigation led by Mary Jo White. So a lot of interesting moving pieces that's going on here. Look, let's really entertain this now. Let's really entertain this. Should we tackle the votes, or should we tackle convincing him to sell? Which one you want to tackle first?
I think you can tackle convincing him to sell.
Convincing him to sell. Okay, so look, that's tricky, because this is the same Daniel Snyder that said for years, fuck no, I am not changing the name of the Redskins. I don't give a fuck who it pisses off. Even if it pisses off some of our shareholders and those that have stock ownership in this franchise, they can kick rocks. Sell me their shares if they're that butthurt by it, and we ain't changing it. Mm-hmm. And eventually the tides turned, and boy, oh boy, now they're the Washington Commanders, right? Right. But I'm saying, this is the same Daniel Snyder that said, I will, right? Mm-hmm. So this man comes off to me so gung-ho, trying so hard to be a Al Davis, a wannabe Al Davis, a wannabe Jerry Jones, to the point I don't see him just, you're right, it's getting a little bit too hot. I'm just gonna go on ahead and I'm gonna be done with this. I'll leave. I don't see him doing that.
Nope.
This is the same guy who sued the Washington City paper years back because they wrote a biased, derogatory piece on him. Mm-hmm. And it had set up a catalyst of bad things to come for the Washington City paper down the pipeline and everything. So, if he's that gun-ho, cares about his image and all this other shit, I don't see, hey, we want you to go ahead and sell the team because, we got an image to maintain. We got to protect the shield, and, you kind of giving us a black eye. So what he is, I don't see that happening. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong, but I don't see that happening.
So, okay. You didn't really come to the area until early 90s.
92 to be exact.
Right. So
I remember when it was still Jack Kent Cooke. Mm-hmm. Jack Kent Cooke family was still alive. Right. I don't know if Jack Kent Cooke himself was still alive, but I definitely know that the family still had, right? And I remember when Snyder had came in. I remember first looking at him going, what does this weaselly looking son of a bitch know about football? Well, like, this guy looks like a fucking dweeb. Is this guy really? And the first thing I thought when I saw this guy, he's going to try to buy a championship. And lo and behold, that's exactly what he was trying to do, from Donovan McNabb, Deion Sanders, shit, I know I'm missing some other names,
yeah.
but I mean, those are the ones that just jump out to me off the break.
So, Jack Kent Cooke actually passed away in 1997.
Yep.
But I grew up watching the Washington Redskins. So, I mean, I actually was watching the day Joe Theismann got hurt. So, enjoyed the ride that we had with the Washington Redskins under the family, under Jack Kent Cooke. He cared about his team. He cared about the organization. It was, a win-win. So I respect your sentiments and agree with them in reference to Daniel Snyder. I thought exactly the same thing. Yep, he's going to try to buy a championship. Yep, this is... Because I didn't ever really like what I was seeing. It was like, yeah, you look weird to me and you look like no good. So, and for years out here, for the people who are like, huh? Who? What? For years, it's kind of like, okay, well, I hope he sells. Well, okay, I hope they can get rid of him. Oh, one more season. Okay, I hope, hope, right? And every year it's the same bullshit. Anyway, but yes, he was a hard ass in reference to the name and many other things, really. Daniel Snyder is definitely one of those people who does what he wants to do and gives two shits not what anybody else thinks. Want to go up on the prices for the season ticket holders? All right, we'll do that. Want to move the stadium? Yep, all right, we'll do that. And all, all of that, just kind of to name a few, right?
And go back for full context for people that, don't know about Washington. Go back to when Daniel Snyder came in, when he first came in as an owner and everything, because what was so controversial and so upsetting back then was when he decided, no, you know what, we're done with the RFK Stadium. No, I want to go build my own fucking stadium, and we're going to have our team play in that fucking stadium. And if DC wants to have Washington play, well, they're going to have to pony up the money, and they're going to have to build us a new stadium. And they're like, well, wait a minute. But we got a stadium right here. I mean, hey, if we got to do some renovations or whatever, we can easily do that. But you got a stadium right here. And he's like, no, fuck that. I want my own stadium. And ultimately, I remember when, was it Landover, right? Landover, or is it Lanham, where they are? Where he took...
I think it's Landover.
Landover. I remember when they parted. I remember fans were... Because I still remember the news reports from that whole week. I remember some fans were pissed, some were crying. Just all that rich history that was at the RFK Stadium. And it was just one of those, damn,
taking the team actually out of Washington and putting the new stadium in Maryland.
Right.
Was a big blow for a lot of the fans.
Especially for DC, just from an economic growth standpoint. Yeah. I mean, I really need for people to really understand this. A lot of what's happened to DC now, growth-wise, especially for mom and pop businesses, especially when you look at commercial and residential development that has occurred, really within these last 15 years. Had Daniel Snyder kept Washington in DC, it would have sped up that growth tremendously. Yeah. Tremendously.
And it would have left jobs or created different jobs because the stadium is still there. There's event staff and the whole gamut. So, yeah, it was.
I mean, it's just so all that stuff right there. He was rubbing people the wrong way off the break.
Off the break, and it hasn't stopped. It's just basically died down because people are tired of bitching about it.
Yeah.
But so going back to making it full circle is trying to get him to sell. Unless you come up with a better offer than him basically getting nothing. And you say, hey, if you do this, 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 and this, and you sell the team, you get this, 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 and that. That's the only way he's going to sell.
So basically what you're saying is, unless you're Elon Musk.
Yeah, who's going to give you a shit ton of money and this, and that, to basically say, I'm going to sell the team.
Yeah.
I don't think he will. No. Not willingly. Unless it's like, well, sell the team or we basically slander your whole name.
Okay. So we've tackled that. All right. Owners getting together. 24 votes is all you need. 32 teams. Well, 31 because, obviously Snyder, he can say, I stay. Right? So, but 24 teams out of, 31 basically, right? You get the math. It's really 32, but you can't count Snyder, right?
Right.
So
majority vote.
Right. But 24 teams is the magic number, and you can get his ass out. I have a feeling, and I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that Jerry Jones may side with him because, again, full context, when Snyder was trying to get his bearings together in those first handful of years as a new NFL owner, he relied very heavily on Jerry Jones. And you could maybe almost make an argument that Snyder probably looks to him like if not an older brother, a father figure. So I would imagine that he probably would have Jerry Jones on his side, but we know how influential Jerry Jones can be to the point those that are thinking about, we got to get this guy out, would Jerry Jones be enough of an influence to, you feel where I'm coming from? So I say that with great trepidation. I don't know if they could get the 24 votes necessary to get him out. I think the number would actually be much lower. I think out of 31 teams, as far as teams actually voting his ass out, I think you could, realistically, I'm picturing 11 to 14 votes. And obviously that is, but I'm just not seeing it.
It really, because, we are not in the loop in reference to, we somewhat know, but we're not in the loop of really what's happening with the court case. And then it comes down to, okay, well, we kind of like this guy and what he's been doing, and, his team is semi-relevant. But do we want him giving our teams and our football league a black eye?
Exactly. And to your point about the court rulings, remember, because that is so multi-layered, because for those that don't know, there is apparently, follow the money, follow the trail, but it looks as though Daniel Snyder was having his people skim the books. He basically was presenting two different set of books. So when it would come time for, the auditor to do their thing or whatever for the NFL, it's like, okay, here you go. And that book, okay, looks good. But apparently there's another book where basically they were screwing the hell out of motherfuckers and basically allocating the money. And, just think, for anybody that has ever seen Martin Scorsese's Casino, Just remember how they were operating when it came to skimming the money off of the casinos and, you know, all the different ledgers that they had going on, right? You know, here you go. Here's the actual one. Yeah. We see nice and organized for our taxes this year. You know, and then in actuality, nah, that's not the real ledger. You know, this is the real ledger over here. Right. So Snyder was basically doing some stupid shit like that, right? And you've got these owners that are basically, you know, Snyder, you dumb son of a bitch.
How do you embezzle from your own team?
Simple. You're a greedy ass, stupid motherfucker. But to the point, you got these other NFL owners. Yo, Snyder, are you stupid? Like, hello, don't you think we entertained this idea? We thought about it, but you know we know we couldn't do it because eventually our hand would get caught in the cookie jar. Like we thought of every single way possible to try to maximize on, like, don't you think we would have done it? Like, and you're out.
Yeah.
Right. So I agree with you depending on what happens with the whole court proceedings. But at the same time,
that really depends on the court proceedings and how fed up they are with the whole situation.
Yeah.
But we don't really know. They're just saying a few. So how many is a few? Is that half? Is that a quarter? You know, are other people trying to persuade the half to the quarter, you know, to become 3/4? Mm-hmm. You know, so we don't really have the understanding of really how big that a few owners is.
Right. It's a delicate situation, but if this guy cares remotely about his image, his reputation,
yeah,
then, you know, he very well could go off into the sunset with the money that, you know, he's already made. And, you know, that could be the end of that, you know, but look, I just feel sorry for y'all because, you know, it's really hard for me to watch a Washington game, even if you were to tell me Tom Brady's playing against them, Tom Brady and the Bucks. It would be, it's like, no, just everything that has gone on with that team, all the controversy. And then I'm thinking about the women that have claimed sexual harassment, sexual abuse, unwanted sexual advancements from Daniel Snyder, and just the way that he did some of the former cheerleaders, and, you know,
when you got your own lawyer telling you, slow your roll,
that's
a problem.
Yeah. I mean, just a creepy fucking bastard. Seriously, just a creepy fucking bastard.
And the funny thing is, Daniel Snyder lived like 5 to 7 doors, or a bit down the street, basically, from my dad's old boss.
Oh, wow.
They knew of him. I didn't really, know much of any inner workings or anything in reference to, what he was like or whatever have you, besides the fact that he just happened to live down the street from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still stand by what I said.
Just a whole bunch of...
But to be honest with you, in personal feeling and personal opinion, I would be more inclined to support them without him there, because I don't think he has a true direction. I don't think he is, follow one course and so successful. I think he changes shit from year to year.
Okay.
And then you can't be successful that way. You just can't. And the last point I want to make is how many people have left Washington and done great and big things with other teams.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, Brett Johnson.
Well, I think in regards to Kirk Cousins.
Well, no, let's say Kirk Cousins has had a good backup help in reference to the Vikings. So, but still, in reference to what the context of it, you had Brad Johnson, who went on to be the quarterback for Tampa Bay. and won 2 to 3 Super Bowls with them. You know, and it just in reference to multiple players that have went on and just, you know, right fit versus, you know, buying a championship.
If I remember correctly, didn't Mark Brunell do a little something good when he went to the Jaguars, I think, after Washington?
Yes, because I remember going, he did?
Yeah. Yeah. So to
Because
your,
it was like,
to your
really?
point, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, to the point in reference to, you know, even I remember hearing Joe Gibbs when he came back. He wasn't real talkative about it, but he basically said, you know, I can't coach the way I want to. It was always the, okay, what is it, the elephant in the room? Basically, yeah, I'm the coach. And hell, Jim Zorn said the same thing. I'm the coach, but I can't coach because Daniel Snyder's the coach.
Yeah.
It was, I can say anything or do anything I want, but it all has to go through him.
Right. Why does that sound familiar? Sounds like some Jerry Jones shit. I tell you what. Sounds like some Jerry Jones shit. So, let's talk about the new Quantum Leap series. We told you guys from last week we didn't get a chance to watch it, but we were going to check out the first episode, get back to you guys and everything. So now they're on their second episode. The second episode was just released yesterday. And if you all were ever remotely a fan of the original Quantum Leap series, but you've seen some of the trailers out there for this new series and you're a little bit on the fence, I want to say to you guys, I understand your reservations, but go ahead, check it out. I am a lifelong, diehard Quantum Leap fan. I have been wanting to see a revival for the longest time, whether it be a limited series or a one-shot movie, just so we can put a nice, pretty little ribbon on Dr. Sam Beckett and Al. Fantastic. But, you know, for the time being, you know, all things considered, you know, Dean Stockwell, you know, he passed away last year. And, you know, so that takes away one half. Scott Bakula, he was inked to do the pilot, but things changed on his respected end. He backed out. So you're going into the first episode wondering, okay, how exactly? But, you know, I thought that the new series, of course, we're talking about the season premiere. I thought that they did a lot of things right. I thought they did a really good job paying homage to the original run, while at the same time marking their own territory, you know. And it's just the slightest things that they did that, okay, well, that's a nice facelift. So, for example, the guy that ends up going into the Quantum Leap project and leaping and all that, Ben, I can't think of his last name, but Ben is his name. You know, it turns out he wasn't the one that was supposed to be the leaper. Instead, it was supposed to be his fiancee, soon-to-be wife. She was supposed to do it, okay? You know, now what's not known is who was supposed to be her Al. Her projected hologram. Was it maybe supposed to be I can't think, you got to forgive me for not remembering the cast names. I'll pull a list up in front of me in a little bit, but you can't help but wonder if maybe it was supposed to be the cross-dressing guy that maybe was supposed to be, you know, the blonde hair, short guy. You know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't. For me, that just, I don't know.
What? Oh, I didn't mean that as disrespect, you know.
I know, but I'm saying for me, I wasn't picturing that person. I was picturing, possibly, excuse me, in reference to the names. I don't remember his name, but basically he played in Ghostbusters.
Oh, Ernie Hudson.
I keep wanting him to call him Ernie K. Dove, but that's a music singer.
Yeah.
Way back when.
Yeah.
But yes, Ernie Hudson was the person that I would have put there.
Ernie would have been a good pick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would have been a good pick. And I'm thinking of Mason Alexander as Ian Wright. I was picturing maybe he would be like the new Al or something like that for the wife, right? But then the wife is the one that basically... And okay, so we're talking about just the littlest things where they got shit right. I like the fact that one thing that always bothered me with the original Quantum Leap series, after we were introduced to Sam's wife, because remember when Sam finally was able to leap back to his time, because somehow him and Al had switched places. And as a result of that, Sam was able to go back home, and you know, he couldn't believe he forgot all about his wife and all this. And you're looking at it, you're going, well, man, who better to guide him along? Why wasn't it his wife? I mean, that would make the perfect, you know, that'd be perfect. Why Al? Why not his wife? So they did it right with this new series by having Ben's fiance be the one under the circumstance. You're like, okay, that's brilliant. That's a nice little touch. And then you hear that Al Calavicci's daughter apparently was in constant communication with Ben. To what purpose, we don't know, but she has high stake in this Quantum Leap project because Sam and Al were very near and dear to her heart. So you can't help but question her motives, like if it's really sincere and, you know, she's trying to get to the bottom of what exactly happened to Sam Beckett or what. So, you know, like little nuances like that, I thought they did a pretty good job in tightening up, you know, cleaning it up better and everything. I mean, it's still pretty early, but I tell you what, as far as first impressions go, I think the series is off to a good start. Now, the numbers, we'll say differently. The numbers, not that good. From what I remember seeing of the season premiere, I think they did like a modest 2 million or something like that, but...
So for me, I really enjoy the interaction with the cast and the characters. I also enjoy the fact that they are stringing everything together, even with, you know, some of the newer technology. I enjoy the storylines. So they kept a lot of what went right with the old Quantum Leap, or the original, excuse me.
Yeah.
But they added their own spins to it, and it was interesting. For me, it was good. Now, where you're gonna figure out whether or not that's going to be a permanent is really truly looking at where the numbers are and look at where they're going, but how much of a fan base that you could retain from the original.
That's going to be the key, I think, to your point. That's going to be the key is the ratings, because I'm looking at the official numbers now. For the first one from last week, I saw they did 3.35 million viewers. For the second one, went down by about 15 to 20%. They did 2.77 million. So, you know, look, if that trend continues, they might not get a green light for
a second season.
To the point, for those of you that might be curious, because I like useless trivia, let's look at the final 3 episodes of the final season of Quantum Leap, and let's see how the ratings did for those. Okay, I'm looking at the last 3 episodes here, and I'll be able to tell you. Oh, son of a bitch. There's no ratings numbers for the last 3. Son of a bitch. That would have been nice to know. I would have been very. Maybe we could see if we could research that next week and figure that out. But see, that got me wondering now. How's the Law and Order joints doing? Boy, Law and Order, they came back with a fucking vengeance. That was a great fucking 3-piece that they gave us last week.
It was.
If you guys did not watch the Law and Orders from last week, seriously, go out of your way. Even if you hadn't watched them in a good minute, you really need to go out of your way and watch them. That was 3 hours of really good fucking TV. I tell you what. As opposed to the fucking She-Hulk series. Your man clocked out. I tried. Lord knows I tried. I'm one of the most patient motherfuckers there is when it comes to my TV shows. If you want to just come at me and you want to do...
interested in it, yes.
If you want to come at me with a slow burner of a story arc, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But you gotta heat it up at some point. And 6 episodes into She-Hulk, I ain't feeling it. I just ain't feeling it. You know, I was asking Julian and them yesterday. I'm like, who is the audience that they're trying to target exactly? Because it's not me. It ain't me. I remember collecting the She-Hulk comic back in the day. Hell, I'm collecting the new one that came out a couple of months ago, earlier this year. And that's better. That's 10 times far superior than this live action series. So my question, who is the audience? Because it's not me. It's not really females, because Tams over here is saying this shit sucks. And for the record, you know, you feel She-Hulk sucks because...
So I was into the first episode, maybe even
Who was it?
second episode. But third, fourth, and on, no. They are fumbling and bumbling with the storyline. They don't know where they're going. And it's back and forth. I mean, they have a very loose plot. The third person is getting a little old for me. The CGI is crap. Yeah, I mean, you know, taking nothing away from what the other people are doing in reference to making it a collaboration. But the last week's episode was like, everybody decided to take a vacation and let's see what happens. It was just weird. It didn't even feel like a Marvel episode, you know, of the caliber that they're usually putting out. It didn't at all. It was like, okay.
It did feel like you were watching a completely different series, didn't it? And the episode in question that we're talking about, it was episode 6. It had to do with some wedding.
Yeah.
And it just felt completely...
It was all over the place.
Yeah.
It was all over the place, and it was a very, very, very loose story. And it just didn't... Now, you know...
Can I?
Oh, I know what it is. They're not getting into what the character's about.
Hold that thought a second. So for those that's new, that don't know how this series is, so this series called Wrestling with the Topics, I know some people are looking at it like, oh, wrestling. If we happen to bring up wrestling, which is very rare, we bring up wrestling. Usually this is the show where we don't go into anything wrestling related. I just wanted to make sure we stress that, because I saw a question that was asked in the chat. So for those that maybe are accessing this show on their computer, tablet, Android device, all you got to do is just pull up the synopsis, and you can actually see all the stuff that we've covered so far. Keep going.
So basically, for me, it doesn't even come close to what She-Hulk is about. At this point, it's let me turn green and get some hot guy because I can't get it any other way. And let me go shopping.
Oh shit.
Oh, wait a minute, and let me let you I can get in touch with my feelings. Oh, and then let's play Barbie fights, and now I'm feuding with another hero, and over super villain over some beauty products.
It's sure, just, trademark name.
And a trademark name. And it's like, you couldn't come up with anything better.
Oh, shit.
You couldn't come up, I mean, partly, there's part of you as a woman that feels kind of sorry for her. But after that, nope.
It feels like, this show literally feels like a watered down version of Ally McBeal. Just without the caliber of talent and actors, and with bad CGI. That's how it comes off. No, 6 episodes in, it just really led me to this conclusion, which is weird because I haven't started feeling this way really until right around when the Eternals movie came out. I said, wow, you know what? Not everything Marvel I need to see.
Yeah.
You know?
This would be underneath that list.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when it came to the Eternals, I'm like, okay, I could care two shits not about the Eternals. That does not scream, I gotta see this in the movies. This doesn't scream, I'll wait till it comes out on Disney Plus. I have had Disney Plus now for a few months, off and on for probably a year, but this second rodeo where they're just taking money out of my account on a monthly basis, few months now. I have not, I don't care how often they suggest it, I have not seen Eternals. I don't plan on seeing Eternals. Eternals look like a boring ass fucking movie to me. Just off the trailers. It looked very boring.
I bet you it's better than She-Hulk.
Shit. I won't find out because I won't give it the time of day. I won't give it the time of day. Morbius. Not going to give it the time of day. This may surprise some people because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I have not seen Venom or Venom Let There Be Carnage. It does not scream, oh, I've got to
watch me.
Right. For me, it just it does nothing for me. It does nothing for me. And the Miss Marvel series, that was okay. You had some interesting dynamics that was going on in that one. Arab girl, kind of Muslim girl and her family and the Western traditions, and you had some nice things that was going on there, right? So I'll give that some props. But yeah, this series, I haven't watched Moon Knight. I don't care for Moon Knight. Got to be honest, I never was a fan of Moon Knight, even as a kid. I was never a fan of Moon Knight. So Moon Knight, even if you were to tell me, oh, but Lee, Moon Knight is better than She-Hulk, you gotta, I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch Moon Knight. But She-Hulk, like, your man tapped out. At this point, only thing I care about, when does Charlie Cox as Daredevil pop up? We already saw the nod to him. So at this point, it's like, all right, tell me what's going on with that. If Mark Ruffalo happens to pop up again before the series is over, okay, I'll watch that. Tell me what's up, right? Other than that, I don't care for this series because it's starting to feel like wasted time that I can't get back. You want to feel like, okay, this was well invested. my time was valued, and I was rewarded for checking this out because I got this. Mm-hmm. And, it just makes you wonder if they were to do a second season of She-Hulk, and by all accounts, it seems that the numbers are going lower and lower for this series. And I think they got until like mid-October before their finale or whatever. But if they were to get a green light for a second season, you can't help but wonder if, is Jessica, I think her name is Cho. You can't help but wonder if she's still going to be at the helm for that next season. I would say you got to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
Definitely you got to go in a different direction. Yeah, I'm with you. After that first episode, that reeled you in real good. Mm-hmm. Because see, what I honestly thought from that first episode, I thought the ramifications of that first episode was what basically was the main plot.
And if they'd have stuck with that, it would have been a lot better.
With the ship, and
yeah.
I thought somehow she was going to continue to be intertwined with that throughout the whole series. Mm-hmm. But then that was going to be your main plot, but you would have these other subplots, like maybe 2 other subplots would be in there. Mm-hmm. And then that would be the end of it. That's why, if you remember what I said a few weeks ago, you can't help but wonder if William Hurt did not pass, if that maybe would have made a huge difference in possibly how this should have been structured with her. I like what Maurice is saying in the chat. See, like I said before, it's like stuck in filler mode until something's... Yes. 6 episodes in, and I've never seen... That's never been a calling card, to Maurice's point. That's never been a calling card for a Marvel series until now.
Yeah.
Until now. Which is very, very uncharacteristic. Very uncharacteristic. So, yeah. It sucks, but, it is what it is. So that's She-Hulk. So I'll be curious to see, because usually I find out little things when I'm reading social media, and I'm not even going out of my way. I'll just see people comment. So, like, if I were to fast forward to Thursday night, I'm going to see people talking about She-Hulk.
Right.
So I'll know what I missed. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I'll know what I missed.
Probably most of... Yeah, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I didn't miss a goddamn thing. Let's see. Other than that, we did pretty good. Funny story. Tams did not share this fun piece of story from last week in regards to her North Carolina trip. I can't believe I almost forgot about this because I wrote down here in the synopsis. I wrote down here in the synopsis, don't get a ticket between states. You want to tell the folks real quick what the fuck happened there? Can't believe you didn't share that one. You should have shared that one last week.
So, Lee is insistent on me sharing.
Yeah, because it was what the fuck. When I heard it, I'm like, dude, you should have said this on the show. What the fuck?
So, basically, I was coming back from...
Throw your dad under the bus, too, while you had it.
I was coming back from North Carolina, and I was pretty much done with the trip. I was ready to get home to the dogs and just kind of be done with it. I had taken what I needed from the trip, right? So, and the funny thing is, I had called my mom and said, hey, I'm on my way back, just FYI, so on and so forth. She said, okay, have a safe trip, so on and so forth. Okay. She said, keep your foot out of it. Okay. And I went and got gas and so on and so forth. And, I was like, oh, okay. And when you're going in Carolina, even on a major interstate, it's not like DMV. In no shape or form. There's 2 lanes, and it's subtle. Is probably the best word to laid back, subtle. So you can go a good little bit over the speed limit. Not saying you should, but you can. So, and you don't, the thing is you don't feel it because it's so laid back and you dang near almost have the road to yourself. So I'm just, doing my thing and I don't even remember if I was listening to music at that point or not. I was just kind of getting lost in the moment in reference to driving and in my thoughts and so on and so forth. So I think I changed lanes. Yes, I did. I changed lanes because I was getting ready to pass this other car that was ahead of me. Because I was like, this man ain't doing nothing. So I went over to that lane to go past the other car. Then I see a state trooper from North Carolina that's got his lights on behind me. And it's not even right behind me. It's a good five car lengths behind me. And I'm like, oh, wonder if he's going to call. Okay. Well, let me move over. And then I looked down at my speedometer. And I said, nope, he's not going to a call. He's going to pull me over. And sure enough, he did. So he gets out of the car and he's, saying with his little southern twang accent, so, ma'am, any reason you going 90 and a 70? No, sir. I'm just trying to get home. I mean, what are you going to say? What are you going to say to that? Yeah, man, I really fucked up. Yeah, I was, going like about out of hell.
I was just curious, was the sheriff Buford T. Justice?
Not quite. But close. No glass. Oh, no, Buford G. Justice didn't have no glasses either. 2.0 and a whole lot younger. It was kind of like Buford T. Justice and the Sun.
Oh, damn.
So, anyway. And I'm just kind of like, that puppy that did wrong, right? It was like, and my dad was in the car with me.
Give me a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper, and make it quick. I'm in a goddamn hurry.
Yes. Except in my case, he caught the bandit. And he then looks over to the passenger side, which has my dad sitting there. And my dad does not have a seatbelt on. Great! And he doesn't even fake it in reference to, damn, I forgot. Oh, my bad. I was just fiddling with my phone and took it off for just a second. I would have accepted any of those. Nope. He decided to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth when he said to the cop, and I quote, oh, I don't usually wear one of those unless I'm driving. Really? How many states is that a law in? So, needless to say, there was a citation that I had, and I'm like, oh, Lord, there's going to be a fine. Okay, well, I'll just pay it and what have you. No, it's a mandatory court date because anything over 15 miles over the speed limit in North Carolina is considered reckless driving.
As you can see, Bandit, I've got my hand on my piece.
So that was that story. But I should have known better, literally, because coming back from our wedding in probably the same county, if not the next county over, we actually got pulled over there too.
Wait a minute. You got pulled over twice?
No.
Oh, you're talking about before.
Yes.
Okay, I was about to say, wait a minute now. That's news to me. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So coming back from the wedding,
Yeah, I remember
did
that.
Get pulled over.
Yeah.
And I didn't. Now that was, I think it was 10 or 15 miles over the speed limit. But I said, to be honest with you, at that point I didn't see a sign. I was following with the flow of traffic, and I was just doing my normal driving, whatever have you. You know, up here they fly around you like you're sitting still and you're doing 75, 85 miles an hour. So, so anyway, but that was the first time and he let me go.
And then that was a brother.
Yeah, well, I think
That was a brother.
also there was a wedding dress in the back of the car.
Buford T. Justice, though, this one, he ain't give a shit.
No, he did not. And making me drive 5 hours back down there to go very nervously in front of a judge to figure out what's going to happen, whether it's going to be up to $1,000 fine or points, or we'll see. So stay tuned.
The moral of the story?
Keep your foot out of it.
Yeah. Your mama tried to tell you.
That's what she keeps telling me.
Your mama tried to. She knew what was up.
Yeah.
She knew what was up. She knew what was up. Mm-hmm. I could tell you, as long as I have rode shotgun with Tams, I've never seen Tams push 90. Never. So to hear that she was pushing 90 in North Carolina, like, I'm going, yeah, I fucking would go Buford too. Matter of fact, I'd go fucking Sheriff Chief. No, I'd go Chief Gillespie in the heat of the night. I'd be like, well then now, any particular reason why, man, you going 90 miles an hour here this here highway? We all gotta get somewhere, but damn. It's like, see, she truly has earned the nickname. Sometimes when I drive with her, and Mission, his brother, they will notice quite well. Okay. Sometimes when I ride with Tams, I feel like the scene from fucking Batman Begins, and Rachel basically got hit with Scarecrow's little fucking gas shit, and if he doesn't get her to the Batcave and get her an antidote soon, she's gonna die or whatever. And Batman's just driving in that fucking Tumbler. Rachel, hang on! And you just hear the little music. And he's just driving. And he's going like, at least 115 miles an hour. Sometimes when she drives, that's how I feel. And I literally grab on that little part where you can like hang your hooks like hangers and, little outfit. Or I'll hang on to that. Now I'll be looking at her and I'll be like, you want to slow down? And she's like, well, you want to slow down? Like, I'm not asking, I'm telling you, like, slow down, and it's yeah. So 90 miles an hour.
But the funny thing is part of it wasn't actually, well, it was 90, yes, but I actually sped up to move out of the way because I thought he was actually going to another call. So I actually was doing more like 85, 82 to 85. But he clocked me at 90.
I wonder if 90 was the end result.
Well, I slowed down after I saw him. I mean, well, no, I'm sorry. After I sped up, went around that other car, then I slowed down.
So you got to jump between states just to...
Mind you, the court date is 3 days before Lee's birthday.
Lovely. Just fucking lovely. Just fucking lovely.
Yep.
And your dad was no fucking help. Oh, yeah, which we got to put a nice, pretty little ribbon. So after Tams told me this lovely story off the air last, well, like, hey, this was a great fucking story. You should have shared this story. So after this went down, I said to her, your dad is now banned. He cannot ride with you anymore. Like, if he's going to be that reckless as a passenger, who the fuck in their right mind rides shotgun with somebody? And, after you go past, I don't know, 20 miles an hour? I mean, don't you think you might want to put a seatbelt? I mean, you really should have a seatbelt on from the jump. But I would think after, okay, we're going past 20, probably a good idea to put a seatbelt on. No, you're damn near going 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. You don't have a seatbelt on. Sheriff Chief Gillespie asks you, any particular reason why you don't have a seatbelt on. And the best goddamn thing you can say, I don't like them.
Right.
Well, you, my friend, can kick rocks. Because if you're going to be reckless with your life, not on her watch. Go kill yourself in your own vehicle without a seatbelt. That ain't the John Wayne cool. Even John Wayne's going to look at you and say, son, you've got issues. You gotta wear a seatbelt. I could just... seriously, I can't tell you how upset I was when I heard that. I'm like, no, because he didn't help. He didn't help. I think if that would have been any one of us guys, I think if that would have been any one of us, we would have been like, oh, sorry about that, officer. Yeah, had dropped the phone because I was trying to help my daughter with Google Maps because Google Maps had disconnected and we weren't really sure where we were. And, I was trying to, I had unfastened my seatbelt so I could, get the phone and recalibrate Google Maps, and then put my seatbelt on. I'm so sorry about that. Or, oh man, I'm getting so old. I thought for sure my seatbelt was on. Forgive me. Yeah, my memory is pretty bad. Getting up there in age, I'm on like 15 different types of medicine. Sometimes I can't remember if I even took them all. Sometimes I take one twice. Right? I mean, he could have easily won that hands down and tried to go for the sympathy points. No, instead, he just goes, yeah, I don't care for seatbelts. Way to say, yeah, I don't give a fuck about my life. Pretty much.
Or your laws.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Yeah. That's your father. On that note, hey, I'll give you one more. Fucking. Which, you know what? I'm surprised you ain't get on his ass. You should have been like, if you ever embarrass me like that again, I'm gonna get an axe, and you're never gonna have to open your fly again. I'm just coming with the fucking Buford quotes tonight. Don't mind me. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. I like the first one more than the second one.
Yes.
Yeah, the first one was Smokey and the Bandit. The
second one was okay. Third one was some shit.
See, I have no recollection of the third one. That's how bad the third one.
Yeah.
I have no recollection
The
of the third
first one really is, for me, when I watch that, which is rare, but when I do, I just watch the first.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I might watch that tonight. Hey, we did good. Hour, 45 minutes. Let's go ahead. Let's call it. So, programming notes. In case you guys are not aware, Wednesday nights now, I have been mainly doing my thing on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. I do a live watch along of AEW Dynamite from 8 to 10. So have at it. If you guys are around, have at it. We've done pretty good the past couple of live watch alongs. It's been nice. The audio's actually playing, so AEW's been very nice to us. AEW, unlike WWE, AEW's been very nice to us when we stream. Now, we might not be able to visually show what's going on, but they've been nice to us from the standpoint of they allow the audio from their shows to play during the live watch along. I've actually had a few people reach out and say, hey man, appreciate the audio. Matter of fact, one person from last week, they were like, hey, thanks for streaming the audio, because I don't know what happened, but my internet went out, so I don't have no TV, I ain't got nothing. And so it's like, okay, cool. And I'm usually doing play-by-play, my own little play-by-play. I jump in. I mean, nobody's as good as Excalibur in them, but I do a little jump in, try to help paint the picture for those that maybe don't have access to the TVs and all that. And it's been pretty good. And then after Dynamite is over, we do the regular show. And then what's been cool with the regular show, I'm pretty much, the past couple of weeks, the regular show has been like 90 minutes maybe. Mm-hmm. That's a lot better than, wheeling, dealing, getting all in the nitty gritty with just the standard show, and then minus the live watch along, if you guys know what I mean. Basically, it's like, okay, we just did the live watch along. By the time we get ready to do the post show, everything is more condensed, it's more precise, it's more okay, boom, 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 and then we just keep it moving along. So the shows have been much tighter as a result of doing those live watch alongs. So check that out. Wednesday, 8 p.m. And then, if you don't want to do the live watch along, just hop on at 10 and you'll get the regular show. And then don't forget, Saturday nights going into Sundays, we've got the WOW Women of Wrestling live stream. So for those of you that are not aware, I have been streaming new episodes of WOW Women of Wrestling in the Discord. So Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Now that, if you hop in the Discord, you guys will actually be able to watch, right along with me, the new episode of WOW as it's in progress, okay? Live from CW in Philly is where we're watching it from. So, and then usually after that's over, I do a live post show, and that's been pretty good. We've been doing first show we did, that went about an hour. But that was mainly because there was a whole lot of stuff we had needed to get into. But now that we're really starting to find our groove again, we've been averaging 40 to 45 minutes. We're finding our groove again. If we can get it even less than that, then that's fucking fantastic. I saw some questions right before our last WOW stream ended too. Somebody had tried to compare Jessie Belle Smothers to Mickie James. I am looking forward to getting into that on that show. I definitely want to follow up. So yeah, a couple of more shows are going to be lined up for you guys. So Be Kind Rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads wherever you get your podcasts. Definitely shout out to friends of the show. Shout out to Joey Numbers and Anthony Missionary Thomas of Wrestling Soup. Shout out to those guys doing their thing every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Discord. So make sure you guys show them love. Check them out. Join the Discord, though, because there's other shows that you can hear. You can hear Drew Yari. Who else can you hear in there? I think Falls Count is doing some stuff from time to time. I'm not sure just yet, but usually between those, us, usually somebody's doing a nice little viewing hangout. I know over the weekend somebody was streaming a football game and people were just hanging out, shooting the shit. It was kind of cool. Great community of folks in the Discord. Shout out to the mods over there as well. Get at us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. And until next go round, she is the beautiful going to SmackDown. Have some signs. Have some signs. Saying look you out means like trying to pick the one with the pink hair amongst a crowd of 50,000. You got to do better than that. Have some signs. Have a sign. Oh, seriously. Have fun. All that good stuff, Maurice. But have a sign. Have a soup sign. Have a RCWR Show sign. Have a Wrestling with the Topic sign. Have a fuck Jim Cornette sign. No, I love Jim Cornette. Have all that kind of cool stuff going on. She's the beautiful and the lovely Tams. Lee Sanders here. Wishing all of y'all to be safe and most importantly be kind to one another. We will see you guys next go around. Take care, y'all.